Got to go back to the panel. Kelly, your assessment, you were pretty adamant about this, and yet they're saying that it will harm, that there's no likelihood of success. The hardship part, the public interest, all of the things that I was told over the last 48 hours should not matter, weighed heavily on this decision.
Yeah, you know, they actually found standing for the state of Washington to defend the constitutional rights of foreign nationals. And that is unbelievable, because they're saying that the harm inflicted by this temporary ban on foreign nationals outweighs the security risks on everyday Americans, everyday American citizens. They are saying that the President of the United States does not know and cannot accurately basically determine terrorist threats, and that they know better than he does. And this is unbelievable, because let's just flash back to the Obama administration, when you had the state of Texas and the state of Alabama sue the Obama administration on grounds that they did not want to accept the Syrian refugees, more Syrian refugees, and that the Obama administration was not being forthright with them in telling them who these refugees were or what the costs on the states were. And both of these cases in federal courts were dismissed on the grounds that these states had no standing to sue the Obama administration. And you're seeing this now being flipped right on its head.
Right.
With the Obama administration, immigration rule with the executive had broad authority. With the Trump administration, immigration rule has gotten a lot narrower. And there definitely is grounds for appeal here.
Troy, are we seeing, or is this sort of the de facto extension of constitutional rights to non-American, to non-U.S. citizens?
Non-U.S. citizens who have never stepped foot on American soil enjoy no constitutional rights, Charles. And that's a little bit why this decision is so disappointing. The state of Washington is not even a proper party here, nor is the state of Minnesota, to bring this action on behalf of people who have never been in the United States. And Judge Robart went beyond what even Washington and Minnesota were even asking in denying the president the authority to execute this order. It's really shocking and disappointing.
Ron, let me talk to you for a moment about the political fallout in this. I mean, we know the mainstream media is going to go nuts. They're going to say, hey, President Trump lost with his Muslim ban, the world won, justice won. We know that this is going to be a public relations nightmare. The White House is going to have to navigate that, as well as the legal aspects of this, over the next 24 hours.
Sure, it just forwards this in the news cycle when this should be Trump's first 100 days, right? He should be rolling out his agenda. We should be talking about tax reform right now, not this travel ban. And so this is definitely a blow to his first 100 days. And yes, I think liberals will rejoice and make this the news of the day for the next 24 hours, and that's not good news for Trump. But here's one way that Trump could change the conversation on this. All he has to do is write a new executive order, okay? He has to write it better without the speed bumps, make sure that he actually gets proper legal advice, and make it a clean legal document, unlike this first one. And he should just write another one for the next 90 days. He's well within his rights to do so. And then we might have to go through this process again, but that's how he can fight back.
I'm sorry, Ilya, say that again?
And give better instructions to the border agents so there's not chaos at the airport, so nobody knows what's going on and enforcing it poorly or doesn't know how to do it.
He's absolutely right.
So Troy, do you agree with these guys that that's all this is about rewriting the executive order? Because this seems to me, and I'm not by no means a lawyer, that this seems a lot deeper than that. This seems to usurp powers that we had assumed until a moment ago were exclusive to the president.
These are powers exclusive to the president. But yes, the president could write another executive order every single day. He could rescind the one that was at issue here, which would make the entire action moot, and write a brand new one that is clean and concise and accomplishes exactly what he wants.
Troy, what would the new one say that this one didn't say, and how would it pass muster with the judges that thought it wasn't valid?
I think he could just cite from 8 U.S.C. 1182 and proclaim that he wants to deny entry to a specific class of aliens, which he is clearly entitled to do.
Kelly, we had 127, 130 large corporations, mostly Silicon Valley names, file an amicus brief. Did that have any sort of impact on this? Because it feels like perhaps it did with respect to the public interest and also irreparable harm perhaps to their employees who may be stuck in one of those 7 countries and can't come back?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that it definitely had a negative PR spin on it when you had, you know, Google co-founders protesting at the San Francisco airport a couple weekends ago, and, you know, them holding a huge walkout last week, basically protesting this ban. Silicon Valley is a very powerful constituency and has a very large lobbying group, and the media just loved that story. You know, this is... I agree with the other panelists that, you know, the administration, I think, the Trump administration would be wise in issuing another executive order that's a little, just tweaks a few of the language. He doesn't need to tweak much because it was pretty clear, and rescind the last one to get rid of some of this confusion. Also, Congress can act. You know, Republicans have the majority both in the House and the Senate, and they can write legislation that supports the president. And this could be a good time for the Republicans on the Hill to show their support for the president of the United States.